my chief marketing officer, Mike Stodola, did a thing. He sent out an email regarding us looking for 12 people to work with to help you blow past the $1 million in sales mark. And we thought it would be interesting to see what happened. Well, we got inundated with leads. We have just shy of 500, probably over 500 now because they're still trickling in, but we had 497 MSPs come to us and raise their hand and say, yeah, I need help in getting to the $1 million mark or beyond. So I wanted to shoot a quick video to give you some information, something I thought would be useful in the meantime, while we're trying to follow up with everybody who requested that information. Again, I didn't anticipate that much of a response. Clearly, we must have tapped a nerve. And we would like to work with you guys on, say you guys, you and the other people who responded, but I cannot onboard 497 clients. And as much as that pains me to say that, that's just the simple reality. So I know not everybody is, actually looking for help and whatnot, but I did want to kind of give you an idea of what it's going to take to get to the $1 million mark and give you a resource that I think you're going to find of interest. So I'm going to share my screen here on this little video. And this is a quick spreadsheet that I put together on how to get $1 million in sales. And what you're seeing here is very, very simple. We're assuming that for most MSPs, the best in class MSPs, 70 to 80% of their revenue is coming in recurring revenue, and the rest is in projects. All right. And so what I find with smaller MSPs, one of the things that sort of saddles them and prevents them from being able to make the money they need to make and the margins and the business stability they need is they're still doing a lot of break fix, still doing a lot of projects, and they don't have a lot of recurring revenue. So I'm just telling you right now, based on this model, I'm assuming we want to get you to 70% where you're recurring, and then 30% are projects. That is the goal. All right. Now, what you'll see here is I have number of customers, average users. So, I mean, again, this is just high level, guys. I realize this is overly simplistic. I'm not taking into account servers, and I'm not taking into account locations and a number of other factors. But so this is just high level. We're just for illustration purposes. But let's say you have 30 customers and they have an average of 15 users and you're charging 150 a seat. Now, here's the second thing. I know a lot of you are going to faint at that and go, no, Robin, you don't understand. We can't charge $150 a seat. We live in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, right? Or wherever you are, right? We can't do that. I'm telling you guys, if you're not charging at least 150 a seat, you're losing money. Right now, based on the current economic situation, the rising cost of inflation, the insane cost of engineers and techs, the rising cost of all your SG&A, sales and general administration costs, the rising cost of every software vendor out there, if you're not charging 150 a seat for a managed services service, you're losing money. All right. So I'm just telling you, whether you're charging that or not, I'm telling you, and that's like the baseline. I mean, we've got clients, obviously, if you're in, LA or Chicago or New York or another like higher cost of living area, that number is going to go up. So again, it's general, but I'm telling you right now, guys, you don't want to be too far off that 150 per seat price. So that would give you $67,500 in recurring revenue, $810,000 in annual recurring revenue, ARR. And so your revenue would be somewhere around 1.1 million. And if you're generating 20% profit, you're generating $231,000. Now, another thing I want to make note of is this profitability, because you want to, in general, you want to make sure you've heard of the 50, 30, 20. So 50% of your costs are going to go to the service, the cost of goods sold, your engineers, your tools, the cost of delivering the product. 30% is going to go to sales, general administration, that's sales, marketing, your overhead, all the costs of doing business, but usually is around 30%, 20% net. Now, when you're smaller, this should actually be easier than when you're bigger, because when you're smaller, you don't have a layer of management in there, because as you grow, you're going to have more managers. You're going to have higher level people managing the workers, right? And so I hear smaller MSPs saying, well, 20% is easy for a big company to get, but we're small. It's actually the other way around. It's harder to generate that profit I would say as you climb into the $3-5 million mark and beyond, because you have management, you're having to invest in legitimate sales, marketing, process, automation, software, insurance, all the other things. So I don't want to, I'm calling you out on that. If this is head trash that you've got, guys, this is what we need to fix. And then I'll send you this spreadsheet, and then you can see down here, number of customers, average users, and you can see a per seat price. If you're only at $80 per seat, you can see your net profit is nowhere near what it could be, and your revenue is suppressed, even if you're getting a 20% profit margin. So if you needed to get to $1 million, you're going to need something like 55 customers here, as you can see, to get to where you're at $1 million. So you need far more customers, which means you're going to have more marketing costs, more onboarding, more everything. And the goal in business is not to just get as many customers as you can, but to get the right fit customers. And so another thing I want to talk to you about is when you're looking at your business and you're trying to get to the next $1 million, right? So if you're trying to cross the $1 million mark, or you're at 3 million and you want to get to 5, or you're at 5 and you want to get to 6, or, I usually see when you get into 5, you're looking at 10 is like your next big number. You're not going to get there by just adding more customers. And there's a lot of reasons for that. It's the cost of acquisition. You want to be more strategic than that, because there's only a couple ways a business can grow. One is you can get more customers for sure. The other way you can grow is you can convert those customers, more of the leads you're getting at a higher price point. All right. So the customer you're getting is worth more. And then the third piece is monetizing those customers to continually expand the volume. Now, what most people do, the mistake smaller MSPs make, is they just think, well, I just need more customers. Just give me more leads, more customers. Should I do Facebook ads? Should I do SEO? Like, what's a cheap way to get some leads in here? Right. So basically anybody could fog a mirror and wave $1. And that's not good, because if the only criteria you have for a customer is breadth, some of them have bad breath and you don't want them all. So you have to be selective. And right now in the environment we're in, we're rising inflation costs, inflation's still going up high. We got a tough labor market. We are in a recession. It is going to get worse. People are tightening up their spend right now. You cannot afford to have cheap customers. You got to have right fit customers at the right price, particularly because it's so hard to find and hire good talent, and because of the rising costs, et cetera, et cetera. So when you work with us, we're not just going to show you how to get more leads, more customers. We're going to show you how to get the right fit customers. We're going to show you, we've got a program called MSP Launch, and MSP Launch is for our smaller MSPs. And then we've got accelerators for our larger MSPs that are like $1.5 million, 2 million, so forth, and they want to accelerate. But what we're going to show you is not just how to generate more leads, but be strategic. So to make sure that you're priced properly, to make sure that you have the proper contracts in place, that your tech stack is lean and efficient and not over bloated and costing you more money. I want to make sure that your sales process is correct. So if you're getting leads, what are you going to do with those leads once you get them? You got to be able to sell them. So we're going to help you with that. So one of the things that makes our program different than so many others is we start with these kinds of strategies on how to get the right customers. What is the right price point? What does that tech stack look like? What are the key metrics in your business that you want to look at? And then we layer on correct marketing. And that is, who is our customer? What is our value proposition? How are we going to differentiate from all the other MSPs out there so people want to do business with us? And we start from the strategy level, not the tactics, and saying, okay, well, how do we run a Facebook ad? Or how do we get an email list? Or how do we do SEO? Or how do we do pay-per-click? And how do we do it all cheap, right? See, that's starting from tactics. And it's always a recipe for failure. Always 100%. I've been doing this for over 20 years. I've worked with thousands and thousands of MSPs, from startups to $40-50 million year MSPs. I've seen people fail. I've seen people succeed. And I'm telling you, you got to have your strategy right first. And so that's one of the things we're going to work with you on. So right below this video, you're going to see a link. And on that link, you can schedule a consultation, and we'll give you this spreadsheet. We'll walk you through that. We'll also give you our marketing roadmap. And the marketing roadmap is a proprietary document that I put together. It's just a blueprint for where do you start in putting together a working marketing plan to not just get more clients, but better quality clients. And how do you grow your business with strategy, not just slinging hash, trying this, trying that, you know, 10 years later, you're still a startup, you know, you're a 20-year startup because you never broke the $1 million mark, or you're working way harder. And I know you've probably said to yourself more than once, there's got to be an easier way. And I'm telling you, there is. So go ahead and click on that link below this video, schedule your time to talk to us. Let's go over this spreadsheet. I'll give you this, we'll give you the marketing roadmap, a few other things. But guys, do it now. We're coming closer and closer to a harder and harder recession. Costs are continuing to go up. The MSP industry is thriving. Good news is people are spending money on IT. But if you have the wrong strategy and you don't have a marketing plan, you're going to be left behind picking up the scraps from people who are more sophisticated, more aggressive in their marketing, and they know what they're doing. So click on that link below. Let's get you more and better quality clients. Appreciate you. And I will hopefully see you sometime in the future, and you can tell me your story and tell me how we've helped you become a multi-millionaire. That would make my day. So appreciate you. Click on the link below and we'll talk. Thanks.